Hello, my name is Michelle Taheripour, and today I'm here to walk you through a typical interview for naturalization. When you do get your appointment notice, usually they have obviously the date and time. Always arrive at least 30 to 45 minutes beforehand, and do anticipate that they will not call you on time, and you may have to sit there and wait for a couple of hours. Uh, on the notice, they will actually have a list of items to bring. Go through these items, and whatever applies to you, take it with you. This is just a laundry list, and it wasn't made specifically for you and your case. I always tell clients to make sure they obviously have their photo ID, whether it's a driver's license or an identification card, their passports, especially the ones that they have used going in and out of the country since they became permanent residents, and tax returns for at least the past 3 years. If you can, get your transcript of your taxes, and obviously your green card and your social security card. These are usually the items that are very important to have with you during the interview. But again, go through the list and see if there are other items that do apply for you, and do take them with you. So when you are called, there's one officer. You go into a room, you sit down, and or actually they will usually place you under oath before you're seated. The officers, a lot of times, they want to get through the civics and English language part of the interview before they go through the form. So they will give you a simple line to read, something like, "Who is the President of the United States?" And once you've read that, then they will dictate the answer to you. Try to, write legibly, and preferably print, no spelling mistakes. And then they will move on to the civics questions. You only need to answer 6 out of 10 correctly to be able to pass the test. And most officers, they don't want to take up your time or their time. So as soon as you have answered those 6 questions correctly, they will stop that portion, and they will move on to review the application. Even though you have prepared it, or someone has prepared the application very carefully, again, before the interview, double check all the information, because the officer will go through it page by page. And if you have, anything has changed, such as your address, your marital status, trips outside of the U.S., make sure you have all of that information on hand. A lot of times I ask clients to just, write it down, and give that to the officer. It will help with the interview process. Once you have gone through, I think there's like 18 or 19 pages. If everything looks good, the officer will print out a sheet of paper that will, and they will ask you to take a look at it carefully. It has all your information, your date of birth, your marital status, your A number, the name that you want to appear on a certificate of naturalization, which at this point you can go ahead and request a name change. And then you will sign it. At that point, the officer will give you a end of interview notice. It will have either "Congratulations, you've passed this exam and I'm going to be recommending it for approval," or they need additional time to review items or your background check, and they will let you know about that they don't need any more documentation from you, but they do need to review the application a little bit more. And sometimes if you're missing documents, or there is a certain document that the officer may require, even though it was not on that list, They will ask you to provide it to them. They will give you a written notice, and usually, they give you either 30 to 60 days to send out that information or documents that they need. And I always tell my clients, if you do not have an attorney who's going to send it out for you, make sure you do send it either priority mail or registered mail with a return receipt, so there won't be any confusion that you had complied with that portion of the requirements in a timely manner. And that's it. And once everything is done, you will receive a notice that will give you a time and place to go in for your oath ceremony. And finally, you will be a naturalized citizen. Hope this has been helpful, and just relax and go through the interview.